Welcome back to another episode of the CRL Podcast. My name is Caleb Smith, driver of the High Five Racing 54 truck and ARCA car on Monday and Wednesday nights, joined by Jacob and Rob.
This is your boy Jakob, driver of the number 19 truck on Mondays, the number 19 car on Wednesdays in the ARCA series, owner of Grant Designs.
And this is Rob Sherwood, Ron Sherwoo, driver of neither vehicle in the last 2 weeks. So I'm excited to hear about what happened this week while I missed it.
Well, let's just get into the truck race Monday night at Watkins, Glen. Happy it's over. Obviously not the result I wanted. I felt
Well,
like I
what
drove
happened
through
to
the
you?
field. Well, I fucking suck. Um,
Relatable.
so
I thought you were the
so
road course ringer.
I I still do think I am. I just that
He's out
was
of
my first.
practice.
I am, and I think the ARCA series and the Truck series this season haven't been my best. But I'm relearning everything. I'm getting better, and whenever we go to Watkins Glen in the ARCA car, I feel like I'm going to win that race. Put me down, I'm gonna win it. Pause. Anyway,
Well, what
moving
happened
on.
to you on Monday night?
Um, well, you see, in qualifying, I went deep into turn one, and you can't run wide on the left side of the curb, and I had to slow down to not get the off track, and that really fucked up my lap. Ended up setting like a 12.9, and then on the second lap, I knew that was slow, so I tried to push it, and then I went wide in turn one, so ended up starting like 15th. And then my start wasn't the best. I was telling Rob at the beginning of the or before we started recording, the beginning of the race didn't go the best for me because I had you a row in front of me on the inside, and then I had Josh Altus on my inside going into turn one, and he ended up getting in front of me, and I followed him up the S's, and then he got loose, and then 2, 3 cars passed, and yeah, I just every time I went to go make a move, he kept chopping my nose, and I was getting ready to wreck him. And then I did my little dummy move that Rob knows very well, and
True.
he wrecked himself. And then once he got out of my way, I kind of just started working my way through the field, and I went from because I was in 18th at that time, and I worked my way up to 6th, and I was battling for 5th at the end of the race. So it wasn't. If you look at all the other road course races I've been in, it wasn't my best race, but I'm happy I salvaged the 6th place because it could have been much worse, um, especially with the way I qualified. But you were in front of me for a little bit of the race until you weren't.
Because I'm
So
because I'm
how was
faster than you.
as I was actively walking you down? Okay,
I was letting you
right.
catch up. I felt bad for you.
All
Um,
So my race went way better than I anticipated. The talent level has grown tremendously. Like we talked about it. Um, there was only what 3 or 4 trucks that you had to worry about, or 3 or 4 people that you had to worry about by the road
God
course, and
bless.
and now there's like 8 to 10. They're like everybody's gotten way better, and that's what this league brings. It brings people to get better, and it forces you to get better, or you're going to get left behind. So, um, I qualified 13th, about where I figured I was going to qualify, and I honestly ran a really good race. I usually end up with a shit ton of off tracks and at least self spun once or twice, move somebody out of the way at least once or twice, but I didn't do any of that and ran a pretty solid race. Tried to pit a lap early and gained a few spots on that first pit stop, and then I stayed out too long on the next one and lost all of that time. So I think I could have at least had eighth, but I drove it around and stayed on track as much as I could, and I think I only had 5x at the end of the race, and 3 of those came from the last lap of me pushing too hard trying to catch the driver in front of me. So I'll take a top 10 finish. That was my first top 10 of the season, which is wild for it to be a road course, but here we are.
Hey,
There
I'm
was
proud of both of you, honestly.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I was pissed after that
Yeah,
race.
listen, I would be right there with you, but I'm still
I
proud of you.
I
Dude,
was
that was the
not
happiest I've felt at a road course in a while.
I was not happy. There was also a very sketchy moment, and Jacob, I'm not sure if you were there. Actually, you were. You were the first one into the bus stop when it happened. There was a there was a slower car going into the bus stop, and they were kind of creeping. They were kind of creeping to the apex of the. It's the wall kind of just sharp. It's right there, and to get the best entry speed, you got to be like right on top of it. Oh,
Hmm.
this truck was kind of creeping up to the apex of the corner at the end of the wall, and man, as soon as I seen you guys go through, he kept on creeping, and then he was probably at the edge of the wall.
Was that the one where I sent it like 3 wide going into the bus stop
Yeah,
and passed both of them?
so I almost wrecked myself, but I had to I sent it in there because I was like, okay, either he's going to stop or I'm going to wreck us both. Because at that point, I think he was either going a lap down or he was already laps down. Um, but it that was sketchy. It wasn't the only time it happened, and it just wasn't one driver. There was there were a few points in the track where drivers were trying to move out of the way for the lead lap cars, and it's appreciated. Um, I'm not bashing anyone. It's very appreciated when on a road course people follow the blue flag. Um, but the sense of speed difference on road courses, especially when people aren't used to driving them. We've all been in those officials where, um, especially if you only race oval and you don't have a road rating, especially now with the way iRacing does it, you get into a session, you're in there with like rookies. They've never driven a road course before other than NASCAR, and then they go to like Sonoma and they're 20 seconds slower. It's like, goddamn. But
Yeah. You're gonna have that in every series that you race in, though. Even in some ovals, you have that.
I think especially ovals because I mean most people just do not enjoy running road courses. I think people have been very clear about that, but I mean that's what they sign up for is the ovals. So you're definitely going to get a mixed bag. Unfortunately, we have a lot of guys that are really talented.
yeah,
Yep.
I honestly was shocked, and I don't know why I was, but the last time I raced a road course in CRL was um, the Coda race I won, and it was nothing like what it was this past Monday. Um, you know,
I don't recall.
I yeah, nobody does. Um, but I it, it's almost like a different league um, than the last time I raced a road course. Um, so I mean that just goes to the skill level of everyone racing. Um, the fact that we didn't have a massive pileup going into turn one, uh, Joe Spinelli's hot lap that he does, which is hilarious. Um,
Yeah, it's fantastic. Ricky is
the
the voice of it.
Yeah, and we will have both of them on the show soon, hopefully. Um, but it's they even made a joke about it. Rob, I'm gonna tell you this right now. Zachary Peterson wrecked on the pace lap.
Yep. Poor
Yeah,
Zach.
that was that was our that was our only T1 wreck, and it was on the pace lap.
Yeah. Poor
And
Zach.
Zach.
I'm mad they didn't put it in the hot laps, or did they?
yeah, I thought they were going to, cause like
It didn't though.
I was like, oh
I was
man,
looking forward to seeing it.
you have to add it, but they didn't. But That was our race. Rob, is a professional softball player, so he uh, he
Of-
hasn't been. How was that? I know your
Well,
success on Mondays.
Monday, yeah, no, Monday was fine, honestly. We won, so I didn't mind skipping. But I'm gonna be honest with you, there was this small glimmer of hope that I had, this very brief glimmer,
You
where
felt like Babe Ruth.
no. I looked outside and it was hailing. And we've been playing 8:15 games, and honestly, I'm just kind of done with them. But I looked outside, and I was about 2.5 miles from the field, and it's hailing, and I'm like, huh. Well, there's no way we're gonna play softball tonight. So I was like, maybe I'm actually gonna get to race. This will be fun. And then I got there, and the definition of scattered showers, it was completely dry. So all the hope that I had just went out the window. But we did win tonight. Not so much.
So it seems like your Wednesday night games don't go very well.
Yeah,
Um,
we show up for Mondays, not for Wednesdays.
well,
Wednesdays are the practice games.
Yeah,
I,
yeah,
I
that's what it is.
Rob, I
Is it the
I'm
same
sorry.
team?
Do what?
Is it the same team from Wednesdays and Mondays?
No, I mean it's a 12-team league, so I mean we're playing different people.
No, I meant like, is your team the same team? Like
Oh,
y'all?
yes and no. It's a lot of dads, so they're trying to
Oh, I got you.
get to kids events and all
None
that
of
kind
the
of
only
stuff.
dads though, right?
None of the only dads, unfortunately, they are not close enough to play on the softball team. But maybe
I don't
next
know
year
if
we can
Nate.
talk.
I don't know if Nate can run fast enough to play on the softball team.
I mean, I feel like
That's
they could make some decent team
I'm
sponsored
just
merch
kidding.
though.
I'm just kidding.
Can
I
you
like
imagine
you,
the only dad softball team?
dude. That would be funny.
That
That'd
would
be
be great,
great.
actually.
They could play
imagine
the
like a
Savannah Bananas.
Maybe I can talk to
that's
him about like moving to Virginia for 2 months next year and just playing softball and sponsoring it.
I still want to
You know,
go play
uh,
golf. Damn it!
listen, we only have so much time, Caleb.
I would be willing to drive.
I think we should go to the go-kart track and we should do a podcast about how our races went at the go-kart track.
Yeah, that.
You,
Uh, eh, eh,
eh,
eh, eh.
you know where it would
A
be
Our
more.
CRL go-kart race.
You know where it would be quiet and not a lot of sound to where we could actually a golf course.
Yeah,
I
but then you have the old guys yelling at you to hurry up.
Yeah,
no
because
no no
you're
no.
slow.
See when you do it in the parking lot before your round.
Pause.
Well, okay. Oh, that's when you when you
You're way off topic right
oh okay, hold on. Our picks. There it is.
Oh shit.
To
I
to
picked Evan Kinney.
I also picked Evan Kinney. Rob, I'm
Yeah,
sorry. You picked me.
I had
Yeah,
all the belief in the world, and then I
yeah.
checked, and Caleb's in like 12th place.
Dude, you I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. It's
I'm
okay.
sorry. I let you
I
down.
forgive you.
I let you down. I'm sorry. Um but yeah, Evan a bit of redemption I feel like from that,
He was hauling
fateful
ass. Parker
COVID
Collins was
race.
fast too.
Collins also I think he had a spin. Um
Bobby Mantle ended up getting into the back of him, and I think that's what happened. I think Bobby got into him, and he felt really bad about it.
yeah, but it all fell into to Evan's you know field really. And he absolutely dominated that race. Wins another road course. Um, absolutely deserved. So he wins Watkins Glen, the only road course of the season. Um, and has locked himself into the playoffs.
I checked kind of like intermittently on the way home that night, and I was trying to see where y'all were in the race, and I looked, and I can't remember how many laps were left, and I looked, and he was like 16 seconds ahead. My first thought was, "Holy shit!" So
Yeah, he was
he
rolling.
he was moving, so good for him. That's awesome.
So I'm happy for him. And
Being locked into
yes,
the playoffs is huge too.
yeah,
Well, I feel like it's
it's
only fair. He kind of lived by it and he kind of died by it the last time we were at a road course, so it's only fair that he gets there now.
Yeah,
and it's
he didn't move anybody out of the way to win this one either.
you know you're wow.
Mm,
You know
mm.
you're speaking of
Sorry,
the
I had to throw
playoffs.
it out there.
You're speaking
It's
of the
fine. Maybe
playoffs.
we won't hear about it eventually.
No, you always hear about it.
Uh-huh.
Speaking
But
of the playoffs, I was looking at the points because Jacob, you posted them for the Truck Series. I'm 20th. Um,
yeah, why
I
did you cut it off? Where am I in the points?
I cut it off because that's as much as it would let me put on there.
I'm
You suck.
41st. Just save it.
Yeah,
That's what
you suck.
happens
You've
when you're
only
there
made
for one
what
race,
one start.
one
Does
start.
your points even matter right now, Rob?
No, I'm actually enjoying this. Just kind of chilling and watching y'all race. I will probably just pick and choose the rest of the season when once softball ends when I actually show up. But
I am.
it's given me a new perspective. That's for sure.
I'm currently 19th in points. One spot. Caleb,
Well,
you're 21st.
as we've talked
I'm
about,
Or you're
21st.
tied. You're tied with 20th, but Michael Dunn has that tiebreaker.
oh
Don't know how, but he does. He's better than you.
damn,
I'm
Oh,
tied with 18th, and Eric has the tiebreaker over me. So
dude, I fucking suck. Um, well,
but yeah,
let's
this
move
is
on.
a bad
Let's
start so far.
I say it's not been pretty. Let's move on to our ARCA race we just ended pretty quickly. Not too long ago. Definitely our quickest race of the season. Um, I'll go ahead and start because Jacob, your night was way better than mine. Um, I qualified. Ooh, what it was
Horribly.
seven. Yeah, it was like 17th, 18th. It was not very good. Um, by the time 40 laps in, I had already worked my way up to seventh, sixth or seventh, and I was rolling. I was catching. I was faster than the leaders, surprisingly, because I'm generally not very good in the long run. So the fact that I was faster than the leaders and I was catching, um, I was feeling really, really good about that. Caution comes out. Everyone comes down pit road. I made a mistake. I made an oopsie and forgot to. So while I was in the box, I hit my marks. Everything was fine. I added fuel to the car. Gas man comes out, puts fuel into the car. I double clicked it on accident because I just wanted to make the car a little bit heavier. And I double clicked it. Gas man puts 1 gallon in, backs off. Tires are done. Then I go to take off. It stops me. Gas man comes back out, puts more gas into the car, and I end up being stationary for like 3 more seconds. Lost all that time. I think I restarted like 14th. Um, Lost all that track position, and about 10 laps into the run, I I don't. I know what happened, but I'm just going to recap. I came off the corner, had a car behind me. The car behind me judged the perspective wrong and hooked me. Um,
Pulled
I, tr-
pulled a Kyle Busch to Chase Elliott.
I mean, just absolute. I mean, I I was pissed. I was not happy. I it's on the broadcast, and quite frankly, I shouldn't have sent it, but I sent it to Josh because Josh is in the broadcast booth, and I said I love getting hooked for 10th place. And as soon as I sent it to Josh, Josh tells Joe, like, "Oh, I know what happened to Caleb. He says he got hooked for 10th." And then they go back and they look at it, and then you know, they watch the 43 hook me, and Joe's immediate response is, "Well, that's just short track racing." What? You what?
You're a
That
Denny Hamlin fan. That's just short
that
track racing.
It's true.
no
It's
no
true.
no 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 no. There's a difference
No,
between
no, no.
short
It
track.
fits.
There's
It
Yeah,
there's
fits.
a,
Caleb, it's kind
there's
of crazy. They rescanned Bristol and gave you more room, and you still couldn't make room. That's crazy, Caleb.
Yeah,
buddy.
like why are you not in
If
the wall? Like
if I
you
if I
should be
if I
in the wall so he doesn't hit you.
if I gave more room, I'd be in the flag stand waving the flag.
Just hang out with Barney.
I can't. No, I want to be on the racetrack. Damn it. Anyway, so that's how my night ended. Absolutely knocked the right front out of it. Um, so that was unfortunate. Um, so ended my night. Fell back in the points a little bit. So because I was having a very good run, like the streak of races, and I thought I was gonna have another good one. Of course, plans change. However, someone that had a great race, Yakub.
Yeah. I messed up on my qualifying, but I still ended up qualifying sixth. So
Idiot.
it wasn't terrible. We kind of just settled in the first run and was hoping for a full green flag race, which was looking promising for the first 40 something laps. And then Papa Smith got turned. Racing incident is what it looked like. But it was probably something that easily could have been avoided by, just giving a little bit of space and all the other stuff that we preach about. Um, but ultimately, it was a racing incident. I was running good. I think I was just settled in to like third for most of that first run. Bobby had let me by, and we were kind of just riding. And then we caught some lap traffic, which lap traffic was a fucking bitch to get around tonight. There was a couple of guys who it wasn't necessarily their fault. It was more of just we were a lot faster than they were, and we're just catching them at awkward times and bad times. And oh, hey Zara, hey, sorry, she's climbing in my lap and saying hello.
She's just trying to be part of the pod, brother.
Yeah, she's ready to go to bed.
What the
Um,
dog doing?
That's fair.
anyways, I meant not she. Wow. Hey, you were racing tonight, bud.
Wow.
Good job, Zara. Good job.
Unreal.
Good job. Caution came out. I went down pit road and took four tires. Everybody took four tires, I assume, and I think I restarted fourth or third. Don't really remember. Restarted third, I think. Fell back to fourth again and was just riding, and then got back by Bobby and was just riding again, and then um, trying to save tires the best I could to try to make a late race push just in case of it going green flag. Then that caution came out there at the end of the race with like 5 to go, and I'm like, "Ooh, what to do? What to do? If I pit, then I'm just going to be stuck behind everybody. I'm going to have to race my ass off, and if I don't pit, there's a chance that everybody else pits, and I'm the only car stuck out here, and I might get run over." I decided to stay out. I got a really good start, and Bobby ended up getting to my bumper in the last corner, and he put on a well placed bump and run. And David kind of gave him a shot after he bumped me up the track. I had to get out of the throttle so I didn't hit the wall. And Bobby pulled up right beside me, and netcode unfortunately got us, or we would have came across the line straight. But hell of a finish, and it was honestly a very fun race. David definitely deserved the win of that one. He led, I'm pretty sure, like 80% of the race, so he'll get his bonus points for that. But um, yeah, it was a very fun race. I'm glad I was able to pick up the win and get High Five Racing their second win of the ARCA series in 4 races.
It was funny because in practice we had a moment where um we were coming across the line. You were like, if the race finished like that, I'll be happy. And I went back and watched it,
Yeah, I remember that.
and the race literally finished like that, and you ended up winning. So, um, you know,
Yeah,
happy.
we jumped into practice, and I was like, you know what, just in case, because I mean, sometimes these Bristol races can get caution filled, and we might have a green white checkered. Luckily, we only had 2 cautions? There should have been 3 whenever you got turned.
Yeah,
That
I can
should have been a
drive.
caution, but it didn't come out. So 2 cautions at Bristol for 105 laps. That's fucking amazing. Congrats to everybody who was a part of that. But yeah, we joined a practice, and I'm like, you know what? Let's try a little bit of bump and run because these cars are like tanks, and you can really like move somebody and not wreck them like good old NASCAR. So I gave you a bump and pulled up beside you and acted like it was like the last lap kind of, and you ended up beating me by almost the exact same time that I beat Bobby by from him doing the same thing that I practiced against you. So that was actually kind of cool to relive and me be on the opposite side and winning it and not being the guy trying to move the leader out of the way.
Well, I'm happy you ended up winning the race. At least one of you ended up winning. Um, I think from what I heard, High Five Racing is top 4 in the points for ARCA. So that's
We'll
pretty
take it.
exciting. Yeah, I'll say we'll take it.
We're
Because
definitely not doing that good on the truck side. I
no,
think we're in the
it's
team
bad.
standings. We are. Oof.
It's bad.
You got Alloy in the lead. Um, Kudos to those guys. Those guys are having a fantastic start of the season. S&B right behind them. Subscriber Motorsports right behind them. In third. Turn One Heroes fourth. Only Dad's in fifth, and High Five is in sixth. Formidable, which is the secondary team to High Five, is in seventh. Long Shot in eighth, and OPE22 in ninth place in the team standing. So High Five Racing's not sitting where we want to be, but we can turn a few things around. We're only 85 points behind.
Hey, that's a good mindset. There you go.
Only.
S&B's 2 points behind, so you can suck one.
Listen, my teammates are carrying hard for me since I'm not there. I mean, not that I can really carry for Josh and Ross, but still applies. However, Josh did disappoint me at the road course this week, but we're not going to talk about it.
Hit him with that dummy move.
It's true.
Moving.
I even gave
moving
him the
on.
scouting report.
You gave him the scouting report.
Yeah, I told him. I said Caleb's going to hit you with that dummy move. That's his favorite. I was like, watch for that fake dive bomb.
I do like a little dummy here and there,
See, the good thing about Caleb being your teammate is that he practices. He uses me as his practice dummy when he does that. So I'm well prepared for situations like that. So you just turn into the guy trying to fake you.
And moving on to real life racing, NASCAR was at Texas this past weekend, and yeah, if you guys want to lead the way on this, I didn't really watch much NASCAR over the weekend. I seen a little bit of the Cup race, but I can get more into the F1 talk as we get to that.
Truck race, Corey Heim won.
About fucking time.
Huh?
I said about fucking time.
Yeah, he had a fast truck. He was pretty
Again.
confident. It was the
When
at
is
one
he
point
not?
he was fucking
Again.
hauling ass. Glad to see him finally win because I think like
I'm sure he is.
every single race that he's got a stage win in so far, except for this past race at Texas, he did not win. So that was kind of a little bad omen on him, and they got that out of the way now. So hopefully he goes on and wins more.
He's definitely winning more. And then on to the Xfinity race.
Kyle Larson, the man.
Yeah,
Honestly, Justin Allgaier was doing really good. He just absolutely misjudged the speed differential between what was his name? Was it Chris Wright?
Okay.
Yes.
5?
Okay. All right. Hold on.
There's a speed differential there, and I mean that track is. There's really not many lanes that you can run, and there's a lot of inexperience there in the 5. He shouldn't have been where he was going that slow. He was meeting the speed requirements to stay on track, so it's not like he was just running way. I mean, he was running way slower than everybody essentially, but he was going fast enough to where he could still race. Justin called him at a very bad time, and it could have played out differently, but it didn't, and Justin just ran him over and
He
wrecked.
he's not good. Get him out of that car.
Are we talking about who's not good? I just want to clarify.
Chris Wright.
Okay, all right. I just want to make
Get
sure
him
we're on
out
the
of the
same page.
car. Listen.
Isn't there like an incident with him every week so far?
Exactly, dude. He's that guy that when you're playing the NASCAR Heat Career mode, like you get a fucking video message like, "You did good this week." Like we don't want to hear that. Like he's just not. Look, okay. If you played the Heat games, you know what I'm talking about. But like it. Okay, earlier in the year at Daytona, you remember when he just fucking obliterated everyone down pit lane? There was that. He's had quite a few more incidents since then. Um, just he needs to go back to ARCA or do some of that Crown Vic racing they're doing at the goddamn Freedom Factory or whatever the fuck they call it.
Cletus McFarland.
Yeah, Cletus.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
I'd love to do one of those. That'd be pretty cool. I'm just not cool enough or famous enough or have enough money.
You don't. I would say you just need money, Jacob.
That's something I don't have.
Get your money up, not your funny up, bro.
I'm trying.
Yeah. So that was the Xfinity race. Kyle Larson winning, substituting for Connor Zilic.
Back injury.
Yeah,
he's supposed to be back.
That team.
Hopefully for Charlotte is what they're trying to get him back in by.
I think they should put, if he's going to be out for a few more weeks, I think they should put Raja in that car.
Well, so they were originally going to try to put Ross Chastain. That was their first option, but Ross Chastain couldn't do it because he's running. That would have went towards his limit, and he has other races planned, so he backed out of it. And so Dale was like, "All right, Kyle Larson, call him."
I seriously think they should put Raja in that car. Just let him see what he can do. Because like he's not bad in the truck series.
No, but we need to stop trying to force him through. I mean, he's gonna have to take his own time to develop.
Oh, absolutely. But like he's been in the truck series for this is his second year. He's won a truck race. He runs up front, albeit he is in a Spire truck. But
some of the moves he makes is questionable, though.
See, I actually think he's not aggressive enough.
Yeah, I would say you look at him, you can kind of tell he backs off of certain things, but he's also in the grand scheme of things, he's still relatively new to racing.
Yeah.
Like I mean, you look at everybody else in the truck field and everything, and they've been racing way longer than he has. But I mean, he's talented, and I think there's some things he needs to refine here and there. But I don't know. If you let him have one race in the Xfinity Series, let him see what let him show what he can do. Nothing like he's running like a full season in a back marker car, or he's still gonna race full time in the truck, but let him have like one race. Kind of like Justin Allgaier driving a Hendrick car and then bumping back down to Junior Motorsports, or kind of something like that. At least that's the way I see it. It won't be his car, but it will be for a weekend. But that's that. Moving on to the Cup race. Dennis, hopefully he had Progressive insurance because that thing caught fire.
He shouldn't have done the. He shouldn't have done
the horns down.
The horns down.
Dude,
that
we do not give a
literally.
Yeah, it wasn't 11 against the world this week. It was 11 against his own engine.
Yeah, 11 against Texas.
Well, when you're pushing as hard as he has, and he's winning these races and everything.
Whatever you got to tell yourself. Whatever you got to tell yourself.
Yeah, it's
okay.
He
was so fast he caught on fire. Is that what you're saying?
The world was against him this race, and it caught fire.
Yeah.
It was too hot in Texas, and the engine caught fire.
Yeah, these Dennis fans are delusional.
You goddamn right we are.
I actually saw a really cool stat this week. It was a picture of two former well, they used to race together obviously full time. They still race together part time now, but there's a picture of one really well known future Hall of Famer and one future has been. And it said these two have 7 career cup championships between them. I'll let you guess who was in the picture.
Listen,
Jimmy and Denny.
That's correct.
we do not
For
care.
those casuals who don't know, Jimmy
We
has all 7, and Denny still has 0.
yeah
And how
okay.
old is
Denny,
he now? 45.
Denny and I have the same number of cup championships.
Same. I'm as good as Denny technically.
That's true, bro.
That is not.
Why? I bet you if he joined the CRL, he doesn't even get a top 10.
I bet
Damn,
you he
that's
does.
I bet you he doesn't.
Brother, he
If Denny Hamlin raced in a truck race on Monday nights in the Clean Racing League I'll let you pick the track since you're the Dennis fan. He does not get a top 10.
if we race Richmond, he'll win that race.
Nah.
Brother.
Not on Monday nights.
Okay. Don't cut.
Now, if you put Kyle Larson out there.
okay. All right, let's stop.
All right. Yeah, he's probably gonna ask you if you can hear him.
Oh,
If
okay.
if if you know, you know.
Yeah, but at
Moving
least he
on.
can look at his mantle and have a cup championship, unlike your favorite driver.
Yeah.
Former favorite driver even has one, but your current favorite driver doesn't.
He's got a lot more trophies.
Joey Logano won the race.
There's no justice in the world.
Yep, he won the race. Moving on to Formula One.
Which I will be exiting the chat.
No, you watched it, didn't you?
No.
Brother, it started at 3
I
p.m.
didn't even
Eastern
do I
Standard
didn't even do
Time.
my home. NASCAR was on.
Yeah, I actually watched more of the F1 race than I did the NASCAR race.
Yeah, so did I. That's why I kind of.
See, skill issue.
I I'm at this weird place with NASCAR where I'm excited to go to the 600 because that's been the best racing in this car. But in
Mhm.
terms of like watching the race at home, I can't do it right now. I'm really struggling with it.
It's I'm kind of in this slump with NASCAR. Like I know NASCAR. You know long races and like all this other stuff. Something about the current racing in this car isn't. And I'm not saying the latter half of the Gen 6 was phenomenal. And I'm not saying we should go back to that. But like, there's gotta be something to where you can make this car good. I don't know how else to put it. Like it's just
Take
it's
away
not.
take away some of that stupid ass downforce.
Take away the downforce, give them some horsepower, let them drive.
Hell, if the tires won't wear as much, stop giving them so many sets in the pits. Make them work with the same set that they have for a lot longer.
I think then you get into the aero issues with this car because you kind of it's Texas is a perfect example of some of the problems with this car. It's just a 1 lane racetrack that you really can't pass on. And I think this weekend was a little bit better for some cars. Like I think Reddick made the outside work, but it's bad, man.
See, like the outside at Texas isn't like a traditional outside. You're running the middle lane.
Yeah, I have to like sincerely disagree with my hero Dale Jr. because I think he even said on his podcast that Texas is just now getting to the point where it's going to present good racing and he doesn't want it to get the Atlanta treatment. Listen, in the wise words of our friend Evan Coleman, fuck Texas. Bulldoze the place.
Texas fucking sucks.
Like
Yeah.
they should have left it. They should have just repaved the old configuration and left it at that. But whenever they redone turn 1 and made it fucking 17 football fields wide, it's like, why are we wasting all of that real estate up there? Like, there's nobody goes up there. There's nothing up there. Why everybody runs the white line or a lane or two above that, and that's it. Like there's no other lane that you can race in turn one and be productive with it because you're just going to lose too much time on entry. You may be fast going down the backstretch, but you lost so much time on entry, you're not going to go nowhere. So I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Texas. The new configuration of Texas, the old configuration of Texas was by far superior to the new one.
And with the NASCAR talk out of the way, we are going to move on to Formula One. Breaking news as of this morning: Jack
Rip,
Doohan, huh?
rip to Jack Owen's
Yeah,
F1 career.
Jack Doohan has been replaced by Franco Colapinto.
Oh, you forgot the second part of that. For at least 5 races, whatever that means.
Yeah, for at least 5 races, which probably
So it could be 5
means
or more, right? Depending on how good he does, I guess.
is if he doesn't wreck the car, Doohan's out. Doohan's wrecked
Well,
like 3 times. Hey, hang on, let me, because they've raced 1, 2, 3, 4, oh shit, 7 races so far. So let's go to, oh, that's preseason testing. They've done 6 races.
yeah, he wrecked out in Australia. That's one.
Yep.
Uh, I don't
Let's
think
see.
he didn't crash out in China, but he crashed out in one of the sessions, I think.
He finished 13th in China. Go to
He tried
Japan.
a sim racing move at Suzuka.
What a fucking dumbass. Um, Finished 15th in Japan after his fucking iRacing turn one maneuver. Then you go to Bahrain. Let's finish 14th. Go to Saudi Arabia. 17th, 1 lap down. Which how you go a lap down in Saudi Arabia? It's a big ass fucking track.
Yeah.
And then Miami. I mean, what a guy. Um,
Yeah. I do
so
feel bad for him because he answered questions from the first weekend he was in the car, and for a rookie, that's ridiculous.
I'm sure they'll get it figured out. But I mean, from what we've seen from Colapinto last season, he's really good. The fact that he wasn't the starting driver this season to begin with, insane. Um, but we've seen what Doohan can do. He wasn't doing it good enough. So
Okay.
yeah. You see what I did there. Anyway, so now it's
Uh-huh.
Colapinto's turn. We're gonna see what he can do in that Alpine. Um, but as for Miami, uh, the let's see what we got here. The sprint race, you had Norris, Piastri, and Hamilton, which Hamilton only seems to be good in these sprint races. I'm not sure if you noticed that, Rob. He won the one in China, uh, and now in Miami, he's got another third place. He's got a third place finish.
Well, he also made his own strategy call for that race too, because otherwise he was probably just going to sit back in 5th or 6th place.
He's you can tell he's getting frustrated. Him and Carlos Sainz are getting frustrated at their race engineers, and it's honestly sad. Like Hamilton's getting irritated, and you could hear it. And then poor Carlos. Um, Carlos at the end of the race, he was like, "I've lost a lot of confidence." Um, you know, with his car, and James had to be like, "All right, let's save it. We can have this conversation in private." Um, so that's disappointing. I like Carlos Sainz. He's one of my favorite uh,
I
drivers.
actually,
And
I actually hadn't even heard that. I didn't know that he had said that after the race.
he well, they told him not to pass Albon. And they were fighting. I think it
It
was
was the
Hamilton.
Ferraris.
Yeah, it was the Ferraris, and Sainz at like the end of the race just made like this Hail Mary type move on Hamilton, got to the side of him and all this other stuff. But Sainz isn't having this success. I understand at the end of the year he was out of Ferrari no matter what, so he had no choice but to go to Williams if he wanted to stay in Formula One. Um, but I just think he's trying to adjust. However, Piastri, uh, McLaren's number one driver.
Oh, we're ready to have that conversation finally?
Yeah, we are ready to have this conversation.
Okay. All right. Just making sure we're finally on board.
Yeah. So Piastri, with the way Zach Brown's been talking, it's very obvious that Piastri is the guy for McLaren. And I'm not saying it's like they've turned on Norris, but if Piastri wins the championship this season, um, if Piastri wins the championship this season for Norris, um, or he gets close to it, and they're because right now in the standings, if I can get to it here, it is a 16-point difference from Oscar to Lando, 131 to 115. If it
Which can we
stays,
talk about? Lando got saved by a safety car in Miami for the second straight season. I know it was in the sprint race, but still, that's kind of wild. The same track back to back years, he gets bailed out by a safety car.
I don't think Lando has it. Like he did. I don't know. Well,
I
excuse
think
me.
his battles with Max have really like taken a toll on him. Honestly, I don't know if there's like a some type of mental issue that he's going on right there, where like he is having a hard time separating the driver versus the friendship. But even in the post race interviews, when he talks about some of these issues, like it's almost like he's surprised that he can't pass Max, or when he can't pass Max, or his qualifying effort is not what he wants it to be. Just the negativity is very, it flows out of him.
Yeah, and they had asked Norris in the press conference after the race. They had asked him like, "Are we going to see another Hamilton and Rosberg?" Um, you know, 2016 season. Because I know this was a little bit before you started watching Formula One. Um, but that season was insane. Um, you know, the infamous Barcelona or Spain race.
I actually watched a
Um,
video on that today.
yeah, so the where they ended up him and Hamilton ended up colliding and all that, and Norris pretty much just summed it up to "we'll see," not ruling it out. Um, I I I hope that McLaren lets them race. Um, but it also would not shock me if we see if Norris does some dumb shit, they prioritize Piastri. Because I mean we've seen it last season, they were prioritizing Norris more than Piastri, but I mean
Yeah,
Piastri is the stats this season speak for themselves. He's first in the standings. Out of 6 races, he's got 5 podiums. He had that heartbreaker at his home race in Australia,
yeah,
uh, which would have had another podium there, but
yeah.
potentially
You
won.
could actually make the argument that he was better in Lando that race, and
Oh,
then
absolutely.
the off track when he got stuck in the grass really was the only difference, just from where you dropped the points there.
He's got 5 podiums, uh, in this season alone. He's got one fastest lap. Let's see. It doesn't give me a win count, but he's
Who, Oscar?
let's see. Oscar's won Miami, Saudi
He's won.
Arabia,
He's won the last
Bahrain.
3 races.
Yeah, he's Miami, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, and China. So 4 out of the 6 races he's won this season.
Yeah, yeah, and
Uh,
3 in a row.
yeah. Um, this Piastri domination might get boring. Um,
I've
so
never seen a less expressive person win a race. Honestly, it's great.
it's I know I'm getting old because he was born in 2001 and he's younger than I am, and it's like, oh man, like it's like, like not that like it's a bad thing, but it's like, man, what am I doing?
No, I totally understand that. It is kind of hard to look at some of these guys and see, it's like, man, what was I doing when I was 21? And I mean, this
But
guy legit is going to be. I will be shocked if he doesn't win the world championship this year, with the way things are trending right now.
yeah, I mean he's on a roll, and something I will say about that rear wing that McLaren has, it flexes a lot. I was watching a video like analysis or whatnot. It was in Mercedes and Red Bull, and when they're in a straight line and going through the corner, the wing only flexes a little bit outside of the frame. You look at the McLaren, and the McLaren is constantly shifting directions outside of the frame, and I don't know if that's legal. I mean, obviously, it's somewhat legal because it's been like that for 6 races now. Um, and I am 100% confident that Red Bull would be the first ones to try to get it taken away.
Oh
Um,
yeah, man, they've already started talking about the water cooling tricks.
yeah, which Zach Brown with the tire water bottle.
Yeah,
That's but Piastri's on a roll, um, and I'm sure he's going to keep winning, or finishing on the podium. Either way, at this point, unless Red Bull do something spectacular, I wouldn't be surprised if Antonelli wins a race this season. It would not shock me in the slightest. Um, which is how good he's been. He's
oh
just
yeah,
had some bad luck, like that sprint race with Verstappen.
yeah, that was wild.
Um, but to end our Formula One talk, it was a crazy race weekend. Touching on IndyCar real quick. Shocker, Alex Blow wins again. Third race of the season. They're 4 races in. Um, that's it for IndyCar. It's Alex Blow is just really good. Um, and he was gonna go to McLaren because they promised him a Formula One seat. But now he's back in, and he realized that wasn't possible because Piastri, Norris, they're not going anywhere. So,
That we
but
know
now he's
of. I'm
yeah
I'm curious to see if things shake out in F1, depending on how this championship goes. I'm curious if there's going to be any hurt feelings from Lando's side because obviously it's hard to tell where he'd end up, but it does make you wonder if he would look at moving. Obviously, not next year, but maybe the year after, if that opens up a spot for somebody like that.
yeah, I mean absolutely. Well, to wrap up the real world talk, we're gonna make our picks for next week's race, or this coming Monday's race at Iowa. Jacob had to leave for the night, so it's just gonna be me and you, Rob, making our picks. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and make mine. I got Jordan Trass, um, for Iowa. Um, it just seems like a really good pick. Um, he's pretty much undefeated in officials there. So we're gonna make that as my pick. Rob, who do you got?
I'm gonna go the same way, honestly. The man eat, sleeps, and breathes Iowa. So, if there's a track you expect them to win at, I would say it's this one. So I'm right there with you.
It's a Jordan Trass clean sweep here on the CRL podcast for our picks. Um, and we would like to go ahead and shout out our sponsors: Ghost Athletics, Grant Designs, um, for their continued support with the Clean Racing League Truck Series and the Clean Racing League ARCA Series, which you can catch on Monday nights and Wednesday nights on OSRN. And be sure to uh, keep an eye out for announcements about a special event we will be hosting on Memorial Day later on, later today. So just keep an eye out. But until next time, bye bye.